Live Boldly Ministries podcast. And today we are so privileged to have Cosmo and Sarah with us. And I've kind of known who they were for a little while. And my daughter Jessica's been joining us because she actually worked with Sarah at Boise Rescue Mission for a while. And so I thought that would be great. And they are the founders of International Missionary Network. And they have a lot of other ministries too, and we will talk a little bit about that in just a minute. But one thing I want to start with was just they're actually in my third book, Bold, and they have a chapter share their testimony a little bit, how they got involved with some of their ministries. And there was just two little quotes I wanted to start us off with. And one is not just a quote from them. This one's me, and then the next quote's them. But servant leaders are willing. So when the opportunity presents itself, they can go. They go and they do. And they help change the lives of others. And they have been involved with so many things. I just thought, And so this is a quote from their testimony. What we have in common, it's because she's from California, he's from India. What we have in common, besides our love for one another and God, is a deep, abiding desire to see people come to know the love of our God and His saving grace. That's so great and perfect. And anyway, you can listen to this one, but they have been involved in this book. They kind of talk about their dojo thing, ministry, should call it a thing. But so I would like to start off by kind of asking them. Give us a brief testimony of how you got to this point for this ministry. Like a couple steps. It's been a process, right? So kind of go through the process a little bit.
You want to start, Cosmo, how we started International Missionary Network?
Yeah, so I'm from India, Burma border. So where I come from, we used to have not enough education. We had to go to the city because we don't have schools there. So there was a huge need for school around the area. And then the other thing is there are so many poor people, they can't even afford to start a little small business. So we do what we call the microloan, and they don't have to pay us back, but we share the profit. So what happens when you pay back is they have this debt. They feel like they owe us money, and they end up not doing good. So we give them a goats or two mama and papa goats. So they breed the goats, and then when it's all said and done in a year, we sell and we share the profit. So the half profit go to our school for orphans and underprivileged children, and half goes to the widows or single parents or the poor. And the school, we did it as free in the beginning for all who can afford it. So we have a lots of almost 50% free. We have over 600 kids now. We have 3 schools now. So that's how we started. Was there was just 10, 20 kids. We just started at my sister's front yard. We helped my sister start a school for orphans and underprivileged children.
Yeah. And we were in Idaho when we started the nonprofit, and just knowing, what Cosmo's parents had to go through in order for him and his siblings to get an education. His mom had to grow the ghost peppers, which is like one of the hottest peppers in the world. And she would grow them, and she would go to the city, and I don't know how far she had to walk, like 5 miles. And she would spread out her cloth in the city market and sell the peppers to send Cosmo and his siblings to school. And so so we wanted to make education more accessible to kids, and also where the region at in India, they're Christian schools. And so, not only are they receiving a great education, but they're also learning about the Lord. And we see some of the kids come to know the Lord, and some of the parents come to know the Lord because of the testimony from the teachers and the kids coming home and talking about Jesus. So, yeah.
It's all incredible and amazing. And I can't imagine how you had time, so you run your dojo studio here. You have more than one here?
Just one.
Just one, yeah.
How you can do that and serve the things that you do also, and then go back and forth to India. Also, how often are you over there?
About once a year, depending on the political climate and if it's safe for us to go back and forth. But we try to go at least once a year.
Yeah.
So with the international, with this ministry network, so you have two schools.
Three.
Schools.
Yeah.
And you
Yes.
go through the government with any of this? How does it all work exactly? You can just start a school and it's all okay?
Oh. How did the school start, Cosmo? Do we have to go through the government or?
The school is very easy to start till the high school. So if it's below the high school, you don't need anything to do with the government. So you just start a school and you name it. You name the name of the school and you just start even without registering. You don't need to register nothing. But once you reach a high school, then the government started tallying, and you have to be affiliated and you record it. So the 10th grade, Form 10 in America is the 12th standard. The 12th grade is the high school, but India, the 10th grade, the adult, it's a nightmare. So they don't pass that year, they're pretty much done in life. Like it's very sad, But they go to a place, they'll go to a location and they appear the exam for 1.5 week. Every day exam for 1.5 weeks. It's very intense. They can only bring in their pens and compass, They can't bring in anything. And they just go in there, they serve paper and everything is written for 1.5 week.
Totally. So since you only go like once a year, so how many people are involved with helping and who's running the things there?
Yeah.
How did you get those people?
Yeah, we actually have a reverse problem. We have too many workers. So there are hundreds of people on the waiting list or maybe even thousands. So we chose the specific one. So we got a theological one, Master of Theology in the new school. And the first school was run by my sister, now it's run by my brother. Lots of accountability there. We have 17 staff, and my brother is the CEO and then his secretary on the first big school. And the second school has 13 staff, 14. The last school they have 10 staff. So some of their staff they get as less as 6,000 rupees, which is $80 a month, and they're there for 8 to 9 hours a day plus half day Saturday. So for $90, they work 6 days a week. It's pretty intense.
We want to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their hearts in it, and that's what's important.
Yes.
So with so many people wanting to do this, then would your goal be to open more schools?
Yes.
Yeah.
Eventually, we do want to build a lot of school, but we are not really into a lots of school. Or our motto is self-sustaining. So we want the school to be able to self-sustain, and we want to move on to the next school. And our dream is to have people copy the model, because everybody see American as dollar. But what if something happened to Sarah or me, or what if happened, like it's the same God. So we want them to believe the God that provided in America will provide in the third world. So we provide them with goats and chicken and ducks and piglets, banana farm, and we have minivan and bus, and we have a little truck taxi. Yeah, we have taxi. And so the first school is actually self-sustained as of this year.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's a lot of people in missionary work really want to happen, but it does take a while sometimes to be able to make it happen. Because you're right, if something happens and you're not able to even do it anymore, what happens to it? Doesn't the ministry fall apart? Or we have friends, we know of someone that happened to. It's really, it is hard because you put so much heart into it, Just for everyone out there, if you're joining, we are talking with Cosmo and Sarah Zimick, and they are the founders of International Missionary Network. And just enjoying visiting with them about this ministry in Northeast India. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Are all the schools sort of near each other, or no?
They're a few hours away from each other. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So you don't really need volunteers because you have lists of people who want to do it.
Well, we could use volunteers. So we've taken some people from the States and they go with us to India. And while we're there, like we have people do special sessions in the school. We had someone live in the village and help in the school with English. So there are opportunities for people to go if they want to do like a short-term mission trip or a little longer. And you don't have to be a teacher. I mean, you can share spoken English and teach kids how to be comfortable to speak with you, which is a really great thing. It's a really great benefit for them because it will help them in their life, because India is such an international center for businesses that, you know, they might get a job as a call center operator or something in the future. So there's lots of opportunities for people to, if they would like to, if India is on their heart, they can go and help.
Yes.
The facilities in India. How do you go about getting a facility to meet at?
What was that?
How do you get like the facility that you meet in for the school?
Oh, yeah. So we have two of the facilities are brick buildings, and they have a tin roof. And then one facility is made out of like a tin and a tin walls. We used to have woven bamboo as the walls.
And they keep breaking.
The kids beat them up. So they built their own windows out of the bamboo. So you could see into the fields because they just burst it. So we wanted something that could withstand the wind a little bit better and the rain a little bit better, because the summer months, so they start school in February and the school year ends in December. And so they're going to school through the summer, which is the winter months. And so it'll be raining like crazy. And so, you know, we want to protect them from the elements as much as possible. So.
Do they walk to school? How do they get to school?
Yeah, they walk to the school. There's no van or bus or anything like that. One of the school, they have to walk about almost a mile. And some of them are 4 or 5 years old, so sometimes their sibling carry them in their back.
Yeah, because they can start school at age 3. So that's when they start school. That's the nursery. So as young as 3, that's when they start school. So.
You could send Callie.
Yeah.
So while you're doing all of this for India and your ministry involvement here, what is your future goal, and how does this all tie in with what you guys personally as a couple are doing?
Yeah, so we have the focus in India and other places too, but in our community in Nampa, we believe, you know, because the Bible says, you know, preach the gospel, and you start in Jerusalem and you go and so our Jerusalem, we live in Nampa, and so what we are doing is we're mentoring kids who are at-risk kids or who are troubled, and we're meeting with them, or we're connecting them with a mentor, and we meet them through the martial arts school. And so we have the mentors meet with them at the school and talk to them and just kind of see how they're doing. And so it's kind of a neat thing because we're able to do that, you know, year round, and no one has to go anywhere, and people can volunteer and help with that too. They can help mentor a kid who's in trouble, and all you have to do is really just be there. You know, you don't have to do anything special. You just listen to them, talk to them. And so for us as a couple, it's neat because will go, and I usually do more of the group mentoring. So I'll have a Bible study for girls, and we'll talk about different topics. Like we've studied women in the Bible, or we did the Youth Alpha course, which is a great course for, you know, starting with who is Jesus and why did he die, and takes them through the basics. And then Cosmo will do it, you know, in class, and then he'll meet with kids, or he'll take them hunting or something, you know, and do mentoring that way. And so it's kind of a neat thing that we're able to, you know, talk to people in our Jerusalem, and then also be able to talk to people in, which is actually Cosmos Jerusalem because he's from India, but and then also minister and help kids in India as well.
So it's more than just martial arts lessons.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So martial arts is just a way to get them. So we use life skills. We give them job. We help them with GED. We help them with their depression, anxiety, mental problems, family problems, peer pressures, life skills, and other things. But like First Corinthians, 192, right, 9 verse 22. I have become all things to all men, so by all possible means I might save some. So we don't want to say this loud, but we don't really care about martial arts. We do, but we don't. We care because we can use it to glorify God.
Yes.
But God call us to go to Africa tomorrow. We'll pack up tonight and go, right? So that's our dream in the future is we want to self-sustain. We teach a lot of self-sustain to India, right? In other part of the world. We're trying to do that in Africa now. So we want to self-sustain ourselves. We don't want to raise the money. My wife was a YWAM. I was Campus Crusade. We raised money our whole life. But now we're in America. So we want to self-sustain ourselves. We want to use that to travel around the world and go build more self-sustaining, and we want to continue doing that the rest of our life and help people copy that model so people do the same thing or bigger and better.
And share the gospel. Yes.
And share the gospel mainly.
It's you do see missionaries struggle financially sometimes because like we have friends who maybe because of COVID, like 4 years ago, they lost like 30% of their support because people were not working as much, whatever. But a couple different missionary friends, but it's like all of a sudden, bam, and that just makes it hard because you're probably deeply entrenched in something, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now what do I do? And God provides, He shows us how. He shows us how and directs us, and there's going to be those struggles, in ministry all the time. So one thing that we really want to be able to do is let people know how they can be involved or what they can do and how they can get a hold of you. And like if you have a website and contact info, and so they can be on your prayer team by praying for you and that kind of thing too. So what are some ways that we can show others if they want to contact you or if they want to just learn about?
Yeah, we have a website. It's imnnetwork.org, and people can go there and find out more about the ministry. They also can contact us through that. That's probably the best way. And if anybody wants to pray, I mean, just praying for, the kids who come to the school and for the teachers, that they would just continue to just be the light in such a place as India. And that these kids, that as they come to the school, that they will know that God has a plan and a future for them. They could be praying for those kids because, sometimes the focus is on getting a good job, because you have to support your family, but, that God would raise up missionaries and pastors through the schools as well. That's a great way for people to pray.
Yes.
What would you say to them?
We can't hear you, I think.
I couldn't hear that last question.
So if you had one thing to leave with someone, like to tell them, what would you tell them about your ministry or how they how could they pray for you, and what would you leave with them?
One thing to leave with them, Cosmo, and how to pray. What one thing would you want to leave with someone after they listen to this?
Well, I didn't get the whole thing. One thing to lead. One thing to. Oh, okay. I always say, I always say, talk is cheap. Let's go do something. So we're sometimes we have so many stories, including us or better than us. There's so many inspiring stories out there. We get inspired and we do nothing or we do very little. But I say, let's go do something. I ask. So my wife worked at Rescue Mission, and I work with the mentor program, and my wife worked with me too. So she has like two jobs. But we we're the receiving part of the other end. So don't take me wrong, my wife and we are part of Kiwanis, where we help the children around the world. We're part of Rescue Mission. We're part of World Vision, where we give a shoebox at Christmas, right? Angel Tree, we
That's
give the
good.
inmates kids.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
those are all good things. But you get a shoebox, you give a shoebox, you feel good. So that's great. But let me tell
Mhm.
you, there's 364 days I'm with these kids.
Mm.
So we need that shoebox, don't take me wrong, but we need people who are going to be there 364 days for these kids or for a single mom or for a vet with PTSD, right? Or for anybody that are depressed, anxiety. So go find somebody and be there for 5 years.
Mhm.
Be there for
Mhm.
10 years, be there for lifelong. That's how we're
Yeah.
gonna change the world. I always say, be the little candles that burn bright in the dark room. You may be like the birthday candle, so insignificant, so small, but in the dark room, you can be so bright because it brings hope. So bring hopes. How do you do that? Okay, give a shoebox. That's great. But the best hope is to be there for someone for a whole year, 5 years, 10 years, and let's make an impact today because we talk about a lot about good thing, but it's time for us to shape up. I say, suck it up, shape up, and we got to go change the world. We got to do this, get our feet wet, and we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it, and not get lazy. Oftentimes in America, we're so busy. We're the busiest human on earth. What are we busy for? We're so busy doing nothing related with God's kingdom. We're busy driving around our kids, driving ourselves. We're cleaning our house, and the day's gone, the week is gone, the years is gone, the years are gone, and life is gone, and we're 65 and we're like, now we're retired, we're gonna go fishing. That's not good. So we need to impact just one kids,
Mhm.
1% at a time a
Mhm.
day. I do a lot, and people are like, always, how do you do all these things? But let me tell you the secret. I wake up and I say, God, help me bless somebody today, just one
Mhm.
person,
Mhm.
just one. Help me touch one beggars, one
Mhm.
homeless guy, one kids, one mom, single mom, one dad. And guess what? I end up touching three, four people's life most of the time. But just touch
Yeah.
someone's life, right? Just touch
Mhm.
your mom's
Mhm.
life, your dad's life. Who cares? Just start with that and become a
Mhm.
character, right? So let's
Mhm.
go do something. We talk too much. Let's do something. That's my
It's perfect.
thing
That's
I
great.
want
It's not
to end
wrong
it.
to do
And
the little things
Sarah
too.
probably has you have
It's
something
not
you want to
just
live with, Sarah?
I think that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what this podcast is about. It's
Right.
about being
Mhm.
Step up.
bold and purposeful and
Mhm.
intentional
Yes.
with what you do,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Yes.
not just, oh, I think I'll do something sometime, but no, these are the steps
Yes.
I'm going to take, and this
Yeah.
is what I'm going to do.
It's
Mhm.
wrong for
Yes.
people to try to do a little thing too. You could do
Yeah.
multiple things though. And like Sarah, you were
Mhm.
saying that your Samaria, your Jerusalem and your Samaria and your Judea, and
Mhm.
like you could
Mhm.
do multiple things at a
Mhm.
time.
Yes.
Bigger things that might take longer, shorter things. You can do multiple
Mhm.
things and not
Mhm.
just sit back because you've done your one thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yes.
totally agree. I agree with that. And Jessica's right. We're trying to get people. This ministry has a lot to do with um, stepping out of your comfort zone, and maybe you don't feel quite
Mhm.
comfortable with something,
Mhm.
but you have to kind of make yourself do it and pray for God to give you
Mhm.
that ability to be able to do it
Yes.
and
Mm.
just do something. You're exactly right. Just get out
Yes.
and do something. I am
Mhm.
just so
Amen.
thankful to have you guys today and really excited to share this on our YouTube channel. And I just hope that people will watch it and really understand, really feel inspired by all that you guys are doing. And Lord bless you and thank you for being
Thank
on
you.
the Bold Industries podcast. And um, you can look us up on our YouTube channel
Yep.
under Nicki Korean.
Nicki Corinne White.
And
Yep.
that's why I have an admin. And yeah, and you can look us up and you can watch this and be inspired by
Mhm.
how Cosmo and Sarah are ministering to people all around the world. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. God
Thank you
bless.
so much.
God bless.